When you decide to get sober, the advice starts flying at you from every direction. Family has opinions, friends have opinions, and the internet definitely has opinions. Some of that advice can be life-changing. We've all had moments where one simple sentence from the right person at the right time shifted the whole trajectory. But here's the problem. Most of the advice you get about sobriety is either useless, premature, or flat out dangerous. And for newcomers to sobriety, how the hell do you know which advice is good and which could kill you? I'm Dr. Donald Crowe. I practiced emergency medicine for 40 years, and for a big chunk of that time, I watched alcohol destroy lives from my side of the stretcher. But before that, I spent 2 decades in my own private war with alcohol, losing slowly. Now, I've been sober for 27 years, so I've seen this from both sides of the bed rail. When I first tried to quit, I did what most people do. I tried to figure it out myself. I read, I reasoned, I bargained, I made deals with myself, and I failed, repeatedly. Real progress only started when I began listening to people who actually had what I wanted, an authentic, stable, sober life, not dominated by intoxication, not built around the next drink. But even then, the advice came in waves. Some of it was gold, a lot of it was noise, and some of it could have sent me straight back into the ditch. Looking back now, I can see a few patterns clearly. There are 5 common pieces of advice that get thrown at newcomers all the time that I believe aren't just unhelpful. They can become genuine roadblocks to long-term sobriety. Before we walk through these, I have a quick, simple request. Please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and consider commenting below. So let's explore these 5 faulty recommendations and talk about what to do instead. Bad sobriety advice number 1, wait until you're completely ready to quit. This one sounds reasonable, even mature. Perhaps you've heard yourself say, I'll stop after the holidays, or I'll quit after this big project settles down, or I just need to get through this stressful season. Now, to be clear, if you're a very heavy drinker and at risk for serious withdrawal, then yes, you should absolutely talk to a physician. Medically supervised withdrawal can be critical. Safety matters. But the idea that you should wait for that perfect time to get sober, that's a trap. Life doesn't give us long stretches of perfect timing. Life is messy. Someone's always getting married or sick or divorced or promoted, fired, or born. There's always just one more thing you need to get through before you really start. And while you're waiting, you're training. You're becoming highly skilled at one thing, rationalization. You're building the muscle of delay, reinforcing the reflex of not yet. Sobriety doesn't work like training for a marathon where you pick a date and build to it. The way you start this journey is simple. You don't drink today. That's it. Today is the perfect day, not because it's special, but because it's the day you actually have. And if you drink tomorrow, the perfect day to start again is that day. You're not back at square one. You're not starting over. You're starting again, this time with more information about how and why you drink. That experience is data, not evidence of failure. Bad advice number 2, keep it to yourself. This one feels comfortable, especially for people who've been hiding their drinking for years. By the time you realize that you need a divorce from alcohol, you're probably already an expert at keeping secrets. Going it alone feels familiar. It preserves your image. Nobody has to see you vulnerable. The problem is, isolation is gasoline for addiction. Profound change, and make no mistake, becoming a non-drinker is profound, requires discomfort. If you're trying to keep everything neat, tidy, and under your control, you're still playing the same game that you played while you were drinking. Manage appearances, avoid exposure, don't let anybody see the truth. Left entirely to your own devices, you will keep using the same tools that got you into trouble. You won't reach for new ones, partly because you don't know they exist, and partly because asking for help feels like failure. In my experience, personally and professionally, doing it alone can work for a little while, but it often leaves you isolated and miserable and leads you back to the bottle, looking for relief. And this segues to bad advice number 3. Tell everyone. Announce you're getting sober to the world. This is the equal and opposite error. After a week or 2 without alcohol, many people feel something they haven't felt in a long time. Hope. The fog lifts a little. Sleep improves. There's a sense of, maybe I can actually do this. That optimism itself can be intoxicating. You feel grateful. You want your loved ones to stop worrying. You might even think your early sobriety will inspire a drinking buddy to get their life together. So you go public. Social media posts, big announcement, grand declarations. Sometimes that works out. But too often it creates a new problem, crushing pressure. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. We dramatically overestimate how much time other people spend thinking about us. Most people are busy managing their own problems. And there's a small slice of folks, especially in a heavy drinking social circle, who are not entirely thrilled to see you sober. Your change makes them uncomfortable about their own drinking. They may consciously or unconsciously pull for your failure, so things can go back to normal and you will rejoin the drinking fold. Practically speaking, when you're at a gathering and someone offers you a drink, a simple no thank you is enough 95% of the time. In those rare instances that someone keeps pushing, I've had enough is a complete sentence. And in your own mind, you can quietly ask yourself, why is it so important to you that I drink? You don't need to say it out loud, but it's useful information about that relationship. The danger of telling everyone is this. If you do relapse, starting again feels much harder. You're not just wrestling with your own disappointment. You're carrying the imagined disappointment of the entire audience. A much better approach is to choose a small circle of trusted people who know what you're doing and can support you. This can be your spouse or partner, your physician, and 1 or 2 people living the kind of sober life that you want. Not the whole world, but not nobody. The solution lives in the middle. Not total secrecy, not a public performance, but a small, intentional support system. Bad advice number 4. Just switch to something else. Use another substance instead. This, in my view, is the single biggest roadblock to meaningful long-term sobriety. You may have heard of California sobriety or the marijuana maintenance program. The idea is simple. Alcohol is the problem, so just swap it out. Use something that feels softer or more socially acceptable. Marijuana is the prototype for this, especially now that it's legal in many places. It feels different. You're not slurring your words over a bottle of wine anymore. So what's the harm? The harm is this. You've missed the point. The core problem in alcoholism isn't just the specific liquid in the glass. It's the deeply ingrained habit of reaching for a chemical to change how you feel. Anxious, numb it. Bored, stimulate it. Sad, flatten it. Tired, push through it. If you simply replace alcohol with another intoxicant, you're not learning how to live life on life's terms. You're outsourcing your emotional life to a different chemical. The real joy of sobriety doesn't come just from not drinking. It comes from the freedom of not having to manage your feelings with substances at all. The freedom to go on vacation without figuring out how to smuggle or stockpile. The freedom to be fully available when your family needs you. The freedom to show up clear-headed, anytime, any place. Those benefits are often invisible in the first few months. Early on, substituting something else can feel like a clever workaround. But long-term, it keeps you stuck. Now, for people using multiple substances, it may not always be realistic to stop everything at once. Sometimes it has to be sequential. But the goal doesn't change. You're moving toward a life that doesn't depend on any intoxicant to get you through the day. Bad advice number 5, just stay sober forever. This might sound odd at first. Of course, sobriety is the ultimate goal. But that word, forever, can be lethal in early recovery. If you are on day 3 without a drink and your brain starts trying to imagine never drinking again for the rest of your life, it will revolt. Forever is too big, too abstract. It feels like being buried alive. The ultimate goal isn't simply never drink again. The ultimate goal is to build a satisfying life. Now, for many of us, that goal is incompatible with drinking. For this group, that satisfying life only becomes possible after alcohol is removed. But you don't get there by wrestling with eternity. You get there one day at a time. You remove alcohol today, and you do the same tomorrow. You keep going long enough to develop what I call functional sobriety. That point where not drinking is the default, and opening the bottle of wine every night is no longer your automatic move. That skill set, managing discomfort, feeling your feelings, living without chemical shortcuts, it takes time and practice. It defines the process when you transition from functional sobriety to thriving in sobriety, which is the pot at the end of the rainbow. You may not like hearing this, but here it is. You can only enjoy this life if alcohol is out of the way. So instead of I have to stay sober forever, the frame is today alcohol is off the table. Tomorrow will take care of itself. So let's recap these 5 traps. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start today. Don't isolate in secrecy. And don't turn your sobriety into a public performance. Choose a small, trusted circle. Don't swap alcohol for another intoxicant. You're after real freedom, not a different master. Don't get crushed under the word forever. Focus on this 24 hours. If you can avoid these pieces of bad advice, you clear out a lot of debris from the path. It doesn't guarantee an easy journey, nothing does, but it makes success much more likely. If you're new to this, I'm glad you're here. Hang in there. This can become the ride of your life. Because giving up drinking doesn't mean giving up anything real. It means finally opening the door to the life you deserve. If you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. Also, your comments are always read and appreciated. And when you're ready, check out this next video where I dig into specific techniques and daily practices that build what I call functional sobriety, the point where not drinking becomes the new normal. I'm Dr. Donald Crowe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.